honest and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of June 27, Thursday. I'm Riza Diaz. Let's jumpstart today's rush with PDP-Laban's official endorsement of Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco for House Speaker for the 18th Congress. However, it's not clear whether Velasco's backing has President Duterte's blessing. Jen Calimon with a report.
Via video conference, Senator Manny Pacquiao officially named Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco as PDP-Laban's bet for the House speakership. At least 60 PDP members signed a manifesto of support for Velasco.
Bata yung speaker natin, and then maasahan din para sa kapakanan for the welfare of the Filipino people. Magaling naman yan si Lord Velasco as a leader. At in-expect namin na maganda at masusuportahan niya yung mga panukala na makakatulong sa bayan ng Pilipino.
PDP-Laban has the biggest bloc in the lower house. Aside from them, 140 congressmen from other parties also indicated their support for Velasco. Velasco now has at least 75% of the lower house votes.
Sa aming estimate kahapon, sa meeting namin sa different parties, more or less nasa 200 na po. 200 members na pipirma at susuporta kay Congressman Lord Velasco. Kasama na doon.
Kasama na rin.
PDP, NPC, party list, part of NUP, part of NP, and part of Liberal Party, and other independent.
President Rodrigo Duterte earlier said that he will not endorse any candidate for House Speaker. He instead passed the torch to Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Si ma'am na lang para to spare me the agony of choosing. Kasi kaibigan ko at ayaw kong may magsama ng loob.
But the PDP-Laban is hopeful that the President will anoint Velasco.
Ang ating Pangulo nahirapan kasi naintindihan natin na ayaw niyang makasakit ng ibang tao, kaya siguro nahirapan siya mag-announce ng candidate for speakership. That's why as the party, PDP-Laban, we decided to endorse our candidate.
Party officials did not directly say if the president is aware of their decision, but they are certain that the chief executive will respect it.
Yesterday, after the oath-taking of local and national leaders sa Palasyo, nagkaroon po ng meeting between these leaders. Yung binanggit ko kanina from NPC, Party List, at Northern Alliance, PDP-Laban. Discuss na po namin ito. Ang detalye po, wala po akong sa sitwasyon to answer that. Basta sa Palace po, hindi ko po sasabihin. Wala po akong pwede sabihin.
Pero alam na ng Pangulo, sir?
Palagay ko this time alam na po. Alam na po siguro.
Meanwhile, PDP-Laban officials say it will impose sanctions on members who will not support the party's choice. They also deny the issue of vote buying. For the speakership, Velasco will be going against Leyte Representative Martin Romualdez of Lakas Christian Muslim Democrats or Lakas CMD and Taguig Representative-elect Alan Peter Cayetano. The new Speaker of the House will be elected during the opening of the 18th Congress next month. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, we are One News.
Despite PDP-Laban's official speakership endorsement of Congressman Velasco, his closest rival, Leyte Representative Martin Romualdez, remains unfazed. In fact, just a few hours after the announcement on Wednesday, Romualdez met with around 40 lawmakers who represent various political parties in Congress, including allies of current House Speaker Gloria Arroyo. Romualdez believes that while the endorsement of the ruling party and the Speaker weighs heavily in the race, the lower house will still vote for the most qualified candidate for the post.
We are confident that we are a strong contender and that we will not stop working, and even beyond July 22.
PDP-Laban member and Albay Congressman Joey Salceda is also not happy with the party's decision. He claims that his party endorsed Velasco without consulting all of its members.
Kung bibilangin namin yung nag-commit din kay Martin, 40. So it cannot be simply be overwritten by some pronouncement from our, well, because there was no consultation. It's the president's choice to make, not for Manny Pacquiao.
The chief executive, meanwhile, insists he won't be meddling in the leadership affairs in Congress. In a statement, the palace said Duterte is leaving the choice for the next speaker to lawmakers in the lower house. Before this, Duterte asked outgoing House Speaker Gloria Arroyo to take her pick, but she refused. The Bakabayan bloc is also fielding its own bet in the speakership race in its Bayan Muna Representative Carlos Zarate. The progressive lawmakers announced support for Zarate, whom they say will push for efforts in defending Philippine sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea, protecting labor rights, and stopping corruption. The group says it will not back administration bets who will just further push for anti-people policies of the Duterte regime.
Malinaw naman na ng mga frontrunners, si Representative Martin Romualdez, Lord Velasco, Alan Peter Cayetano, at least yung tatlo na yan, ay lahat naman yan talaga para sa administrasyong Duterte. Kung ano ang magiging agenda ng Duterte administration in the next 3 years, ay yun din ang magiging agenda.
The water level at Angat Dam continues to fall, and authorities have now decided to hold off a further cutting of water allocation for households for now. Marian Enriquez has the story.
The National Water Resources Board has decided to maintain the 36 cubic meters per second water allocation for Metro Manila until next week. The water level in Angat Dam continues to fall below the minimum operating water level of 180 meters.
If the situation continues, we are expecting the level of the Angat Dam to breach the lowest recorded level of 157.57 by the end of this week, particularly most likely Saturday.
David says that a technical working group is still hoping that water level may increase as Pag-asa is monitoring more rains. But if the water level in Angat continues to drop, water allocation will be cut. Meanwhile, Pag-asa said that from June 1 to June 25, Angat Dam received an accumulated rainfall of 118 millimeters, which was still lower than what was expected for the month.
Mas marami po yung ulan na pumatak sa tubig sa Angat Dam from June 20 onwards. So, yun po ay dulot ng southwest monsoon activity at kasama na rin po yung mga medyo pag-uulan dahil meron po tayong tropical depression. Although hindi siya nakadirektang nakapagpaulan sa atin, nakapagpa-enhance ng ating southwest monsoon or habagat. So, yun yung nakapag-contribute dun sa tubig ulan natin. June to June 25, around 36% lang po ng tubig ulan na karaniwan niya pa dapat na normal na matatanggap ng tubig Angat.
Pag-asa is hoping that rainfall will eventually help the water level at Angat to pick up by next month.
Hopefully, yung posibleng maasahan natin tubig ulan by July at August sa Angat Dam around near normal. So, hopefully maka-recover siya at maabot doon.
For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The outgoing governor of Bulacan says the water supply problem in Angat Dam is due to mismanagement. Bulacan Governor Wilhelmino C. Alvarado said the shortage could have been prevented if there was proper supply management of Angat as well as the connected dams of Ipo and Bustos. Alvarado says 16 towns dependent on the Angat for irrigation are now being affected by the shortage. President Duterte may not be willing to go to war with China, but he is going head-to-head with Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, who called him out for tolerating Chinese fishing in Philippine waters. Jenny Dongon has the story.
Alam mo, Justice Carpio, napaka-stupido mo. That is why hanggang diyan ka lang talaga. He's from Davao. Ba't noon pa hindi ako believe dyan buang na yan? Walang rhyme or reason. Pati itong mga senador sa oposisyon, alam mo, gusto talaga nila ng gulo.
That was President Duterte's answer to Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, who says Duterte's statement regarding China's right to fish on Philippine waters on the basis of friendship was unconstitutional and defeatist. Carpio on Tuesday refuted Duterte's statement tolerating fishing activities of the Chinese within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The High Tribunal's most senior magistrate says that under the Constitution, the term national territory covers the Philippines' EEZ in the West Philippine Sea, including the Recto Bank. Duterte, on the other hand, has no basis for his claim. During a statement at the 122nd anniversary of the Presidential Security Group in Malacanang, Duterte said that Philippines and China have already come up with a deal on the matter.
Tanong sila, will you allow the Chinese to fish? Of course. Yan ang pinag-usapan namin noon, kaya tayo nag-uusap eh. And that was we were allowed to fish again. It was a mutual agreement. Sige, bigayan tayo. Fish ka doon, fish ako dito. So ito ngayon, we are allowed to fish. Ang mga Chinang maliit, pumasok naman. We cannot drive them away because they have insisted na kanila. No country in the world has a sovereignty sa kanyang economic zone.
The palace meanwhile said in a statement that what the president meant was that China would not allow its nationals to fish within the Philippines' EEZ since the two countries are friends. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo claims that Duterte's words had again been taken out of context. Malacanang added that the information on the recent allegation in Recto Bank are still speculative. That's why it's best to wait for the results of the formal investigation. But as far as President Duterte is concerned, the incident is purely a maritime incident and that the Filipino fisherman's boat was just sideswiped.
As a matter of fact, halos kami ngayon are agreed na sideswipe. Tapsingan ba? Hindi talaga yung binunggo. Kaya kung binunggo, nasa ilalim na yon.
Duterte said he already has the result of the investigations conducted by the Philippine Navy and the Coast Guard, but that he will wait for the result of China's probe before releasing it.
Ang sabi ng China, nang doon kami nagkita kami sa Bangkok, bakit naman ninyo ginawa? Sabi niya, naglapitan na lahat eh. Then we realized na foreigner at Pilipino, ay yung lahat, baka takot kami na baka rambulin kami doon, kaya sila sumibat. Now, whether that is a good answer or not, that is their answer.
For News 5, Jenny Dongon, PR1 News.
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Just a couple of weeks after the elision in Recto Bank, dozens of Chinese vessels were once again spotted near the Philippine-occupied Pag-asa Island. Foreign and local defense security experts describe the fishing vessels as Chinese maritime militia ships, although it's still unclear if the vessel was part of the same fleet that converged near Pag-asa last May. Security officials note that the Philippine military's regular air and maritime patrol over the area are becoming more challenging due to the frequent Chinese presence in the region. Firing squad for all convicted drug traffickers, and not just any firing squad. It's at the plaza with live coverage from the media. That's what Senator-elect Bato de la Rosa said when asked about the death penalty he's pushing for big-time drug traffickers. The country's former top cop explained that the penalty for such criminals should be public and gruesome to ensure that nobody will emulate them. Filipino Star Ngayon reports that de la Rosa made the statement during the 2019 Stakeholder Summit of the PNP on Wednesday. And Business World reports Manila is now 9 places short of being part of the 100 most expensive cities for immigrants. That's according to Mercer's 2019 Cost of Living Survey, which measures the comparative cost of housing, transportation, food, and other living expenses. The Philippines jumped 29 places from last year's survey, which means that the cost of living in our country is getting higher each passing year. Mercer says this should warrant a talk between the public and private sector to look into the factors affecting the increase. A Filipina student is taking her dreams to the U.S. after being chosen by an Ivy League school. And all it took was a tremendous love for science, and that's perfectly conveyed in a 3-minute YouTube video. Bim Santos has the story.
19-year-old Hilary Andales of Leyte bagged the Breakthrough Junior Challenge Award in 2017. She topped the prestigious contest as a grade 12 student of the Philippine Science High School through her whimsical 3-minute video explaining the complicated scientific concepts of relativity and equivalence of reference frames.
Observers in different frames will perceive different versions of the same reality, and every observer's frame is equally valid.
Hilary bagged about 20 million pesos worth in prizes, the bulk of which was for a college scholarship fund. She earned admission to popular schools in the Philippines and abroad, and eventually chose the storied Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Cambridge.
Ultimately, I want to become a research scientist, specifically in astrophysics.
She admits that she was once addicted to social media like Facebook. Now, Hilary limits her social media usage to an hour a day. Growing up, she credits her parents for influencing her love of science.
When I was a kid, my parents, instead of fairy tales like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, instead of those fairy tales, they told me stories of Marie Curie's struggles as a woman in science in the early 20th century. They told me about Charles Darwin's adventures in the Galapagos Islands and how Einstein had a really big idea that revolutionized physics. So those stories really amazed me about how scientists could actually change the world.
Hilary was also among those helped by the Education USA program of the U.S. Embassy.
We are hoping to increase the number of Filipinos studying in the United States for the simple reason that we believe that there are a lot of opportunities existing in the United States that can further advance the Philippines once these scholars and students go back.
For those who wish to pursue studies in the U.S., Hilary says Filipinos should not be afraid to try.
Just to try out, honestly. In my case, I didn't even believe that I'd get in to all these amazing schools. But I just, again, with the mindset of my attempts folder, I just wanted to try. Even if I was kind of sure I'd fail, I'd get rejected, I still wanted to try just for the learning experience.
Bim Santos, we are One News.
And that's how today is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.